What's up everyone, this is NyhlekDreams back with another video, and today we're taking a look at the Reaper Scythe, which is a weapon that's been in my arsenal for a while, and I've really enjoyed using it since before the Recombobulator came out and the ability to change any perk rolls. And with the hero rework release, it actually became even more fun dependent on the hero loadout that you're going with, so it's really interesting to see this compare with some of the newer releases as well. And if you don't have one and you want to get your hands on it to see what it's like, you can use Flux and some manuals in order to get it from the collection book, or you can get it from llamas as well. But we're gonna hop right into this loadout and see what perk rolls that we have on it. So we went with a double crit damage build here to just try and maximize that crit. And for our utility slot, we went with heavy attack energy efficiency to really push the use of the heavy attacks. We are going to be locked to energy since it's a base energy weapon. And then we have 45% damage to afflicted targets and the causes affliction. And over here you'll be able to just see just the base damage that we have, and then the crit hit chance. This is being boosted by Fiona in our commander slot, and this is with all the crit damage here from the perk rolls. It does also have a really slow attack speed, but this is why we went for the heavy attack energy efficiency, and I'll be showing more of that in the gameplay. But we can go ahead and hop over into the hero loadout and take a look at what we're going to be running. Like I said, we've got Fiona in the primary slot here for commander usage, and that's going to increase crit rating of swords, axes, and scythes by 45. We went with blast from the past and the team perk in order to get more survivability for those higher level zones. And in the support team, we've got Scythe to meet you, which increases scythe damage by 25% against slowed or snared enemies. Going coconuts to keep our health topped up and make use of that with Paleo Luna, and also get a bit of damage increase when we're under the effects of the coconut. Saurian hide to get increased armor by 33, and Saurian claws from Paleo Luna, which adds 5.5 of your current health to a base melee weapon damage hit. And then corrosive strikes, which is just your melee critical hits, are going to apply 30% snare and affliction, which deals 37% of the damage dealt for each second for 3 seconds. That's just going to be added damage on, and the good thing about this is it also adds that snare when you crit so that you can activate Scythe to meet you. But we're going to go ahead and hop into some gameplay and see how this Scythe performs. So one of the things that I really like about the Reaper Scythe is it's much like the axe loadout that I use, where you just stack up the crit damage on the weapon build and allow Fiona to take care of the crit rating for you, and it performs well because weapons like this tend to have a high base damage, and it gives the opportunity for that crit damage to scale off of that and give you high crit hits. That pairs really nicely with corrosive strikes in the support, because the higher crit damage you put out, the more damage you're going to see on that follow-up affliction tick. And usually when using high damage weapon loadouts like this, you find a lot of amusement in seeing how much of a target's health pool you can take out with one crit, or seeing how much you can chunk smashers and other miss monsters for mini bosses, watching them melt their health bar away, and just being able to see the performance of the weapon itself. It's actually entertaining to be able to see these high numbers go off, which doesn't necessarily mean it's the best weapon, but I do enjoy finding different uses for weapons, and each one does have its own function that normally you can get a use out of it that you wouldn't with another weapon. For me personally, I find the Reaper Scythe to be a really strong single target hitter, but I find the Steam Thrasher to be a better AoE group clear. And between the two sides, it would be just up to preference on whether you would want to go for a single target focus or try and make use of that AoE clear, because that can be really helpful as well in missions. And when it comes to single target, I do find that the Reaper Scythe tends to kill a little quicker due to the burst damage that it has with the heavy attack, but in the case of getting surrounded by a large group of husks, I would definitely say that the Steam Thrasher comes out on top in regards to that. But like I said, both of the weapons have their own function and different ways that you can implement them into usage. When using the Reaper Scythe, I do certainly recommend spamming the heavy attack and trying to take advantage of that knockback as well as the strong two-part hit, because it really takes large chunks out of the enemy's health, and it also can melt them down really quick and turn the fight in your favor. And that heavy attack knockback actually seems really reliable, especially in the case of smashers. I've been able to CC lock a smasher and just keep staggering it back. Dependent on the health pool, sometimes the smasher is able to recover and maybe get a hit dependent on positioning, but overall it's a really reliable knockback that allows you to take control of the fight and push back any enemy that you're focusing on. One thing that I want to make an important note of is it's a really close range heavy attack, which is what turns a lot of people off of it. It makes them feel as though they can't successfully land the hits, but normally if you actually put yourself right up against the enemy and just get in that really close range, it allows you to get both hits off, and then that's where you start seeing the really large damage come out. And as always in any loadout where you're using using corrosive strikes, if you land a really strong crit hit, you can pretty much just tag the enemy and let it get to about half health, and normally that affliction tick is going to finish it off if you just walk away and focus a different target. So that's another plus side of this Reaper Scythe, being able to hit those really hard hits. In some of this gameplay, I switched flingers multiple times and just walked away and allowed for those affliction ticks to take them off and then take the other one out that I was focusing on next. And when in comparison to other melee loadouts, this is where I actually prefer these builds over others, because it allows you to switch targets and not have to focus down the target until it's actually dead because of not having corrosive strikes or being able to trigger a crit for corrosive strikes. But I'm really glad that this weapon is doing so well, because in comparison to newer melee weapons that come out, there's a lot of uniqueness about heavy attacks and other things that have been attached to them, and having a base game melee weapon still be able to perform in higher level gameplay is really surprising. I'm glad that it's still been able to stick through Recombobulator and the rework and be able to get some usage, because it's a really good looking weapon as well, and it's one of the reasons that I really enjoyed using it for such a long time. But that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you all think about the Reaper Scythe, whether it's good or bad, you like it or not, and I'm also interested to see Scythe loadouts that any of you may have made so I could personally try them out myself. Feel free to put that down below as well. And again, I appreciate all of your support and encouragement that you guys give, and I've also got another weapon that I'm going to be doing a video on very soon that I finally got my hands on, so I'm really looking forward to that. But thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.